Morning, good morning, good morning. Woo, just gonna sit here for a moment and just catch my breath. Had to get on the road this morning. Snow, wasn't snow, but it was ice, which is even worse. Good morning, and good morning. It is Sunday morning. It is time for You Have the Power. How are you doing this morning? I am on multiple platforms. My ladies who are in the You Have the Power group, you know what to do when you come on. Type in good morning so that I will know that you are there. The folks that are on Instagram, just give me a wave. And if you're listening to me on Intellectual Radio, you can always feel free to call in just to say good morning because I love to hear from you. Judy is on this morning. Good morning, Judy. Good to see you. Good to be seen. Like I said, I'm just going to breathe for a moment. A little icy here in Chicago. Angela, good morning. Good to see you. Again, as you come on, say good morning to me because you know I love to give you a shout out. And if you are on Instagram, just give me a wave. I see, I think it's Hampo, on Instagram giving me a wave. Good morning. And if you're listening on Intellectual Radio, please, the number is 708-223-8953. Just call and say good morning. It's the beginning of a new day. It's a new year. You know, it is always good to be seen. It is good to see you. I appreciate you so much for getting up and joining me this morning. Carolyn is on. Ubang's on. Good morning. Good to see you, ladies. All of you. I appreciate you so much. Just want you to know it's Cheryl Hudson. Good morning. Cheryl's on Instagram. I appreciate you. She's giving me a wave. Stephanie, good morning on Facebook. Again, if you're listening on Intellectual Radio, call in. Just say good morning. You know, you got up this morning to listen, so you might as well just branch out and go all the way out and just say good morning. I appreciate you so much for joining me. So, what have you been doing so far this year? You know, what have you been thinking about? What's going on with you? Are you positioning yourself to make changes for the new year? I want to hear from you. What is going on? I have, I think it's Great Migration on Instagram. Give me a wave. She's saying good morning. Again, I appreciate you. Hope you're safe this morning. I hope whatever you're doing, you don't have to go out until later. Give the grounds a little bit of a chance to heat up a little bit, the roads, I should say, because it's icy out. And I'm flying solo this morning. Ubong showed up with me last Sunday, but I guess she said, no, you're on your own. Just so you know, Ubong, I did take the highway. You know, for those of you who've been with me for a moment, you know, I don't drive on the highway that often. I used to, but I don't anymore. And whenever I have to, I have anxiety, but I'm not claiming it for 2022. So this morning I got up and I got on the highway. So that is huge for me. My friend Janice Taylor from Texas is on. Again, as you come on, type in good morning, especially if you are in the Facebook group or on Instagram, or if you just want to give me a wave. Let me know that you are there, you're with me, you're listening to me, because I do appreciate you getting up with me on Sunday mornings. And again, if you're listening on Intellectual Radio, someone asked me this week, they said, Eva, well, if I'm using my phone to listen to you on Intellectual Radio, how can I call in? I said, that's a great question. Do you have a computer? I said, yeah. I'm like, well, maybe you can start listening to me on your computer. That way you can call in if you'd like. Again, the number is 708-223-8953. Pam is on. Good morning. Good morning. So I'm going to go ahead and get started because I don't want to keep you too long this morning. We started off last week talking about new beginnings, beginning anew in 2022. And this is huge. I have a new platform Intellectual Radio. It's part of my new beginnings and beginning anew in 2022. And I'm excited about it, can't you tell? Yeah, this is huge for me. So today I want to continue talking about new beginnings, beginning anew in 2022. And if there is something that you started new this year that's pushing you beyond your comfort zone, I would truly like to hear from you. Because when you tell your story and let your light shine, you're giving others permission to allow their light to shine. So this is huge for me to step out into this new platform. It's part of my beginnings anew for 2022. And I appreciate you being on this journey with me. And again, if you've started something new, pushing past your comfort zone, share it so we can support you and encourage you throughout the year. Welcome to You Have the Power. Thank you so much again for getting up and joining me. I truly appreciate you. Last week, we started talking again about continuation of beginnings anew in 2022, and I want to continue to have that conversation today. I was thinking about something the other morning. I got into the shower, and while I was in the shower, I was planning my morning, so to speak. And all of a sudden, I became overwhelmed. I started to feel anxious. And I realized just make one small decision. Just one small decision right now. That's it. Just make one small decision. So today I want to talk about choices. And I've talked about choices before. But I thought it would be worthwhile to spend a few minutes talking about choices again today. Because if you're starting anew or starting something new in 2022, and if you're already starting to feel overwhelmed, just breathe. Just breathe. And think about, what if I choose one thing today? Just one thing. And it could be the smallest. And allow that to be your focus for the day. So I want to talk about choices because our choices are powerful. And it's true. You, me, we are a byproduct of the choices we make. Our choices shape who we are. So you know me, for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know I had to go Google choices or choice to get the definition. So I could just start from the basics. So choice, an act of selecting or making a decision when faced with two or more possibilities. And I thought about choice as it relates to living a meaningful and fulfilling life. So when you're faced with two or more possibilities, you can choose to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life, or you can choose not to. You can choose to pursue what it is you desire, or you can choose not to. But it is true, if you change your choices, your life will change. So that's real simple when you start to break it down that way. When you start to look at it from that aspect, it may not be so overwhelming. And that's why I wanted to spend some time today talking about choices. And if you just make one choice today, that's it. It could be a small choice. Now, I made a small choice today. When I got up this morning, because I've shared with some of you before, again, because I don't travel on the highway, when I do, sometimes I can be overcome with anxiety. But I made a choice today to get on that highway. I said, okay, just go, just get on that highway. So it's true, if you change your choices, your life will change. If you don't like who you are or who you are becoming, you can change by the choices you make. And you can win at life by the choices you make. So when you think about new beginnings, beginning anew in 2022, And if you're starting to feel overwhelmed already, or if you're starting to feel discouraged, just think about what is one choice you can make today. So, because we know it is true to make the most out of life, we have to figure out how to live through the routine, through the mundane aspects of life. And we can choose to embrace life while living through the routine, mundane aspects of life. We can choose to embrace life. We can choose to pursue what it is we desire. So think about this. So many of us, because of COVID, we were forced to sit down and be still. Well, maybe not necessarily be still, but most of us were shut in. We had to stay in. And as a result of that, some of us started to utilize this time to reevaluate our lives, to clarify and define our priorities, to focus on living a meaningful and more fulfilling life, more meaningful work. Some folks chose not to go back to their jobs because after they had time to sit and think, they decided they wanted something more meaningful. They decided, and maybe you're one of these people that's decided you want to live a more purposeful life. And as a result, you're becoming more, or now you are more aware of your choices and the impact that the choices you make have on your life. Are you one of those people? Beginning anew, new beginnings in 2022, you want something more meaningful. You want more meaningful work. You want to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life, and you're trying to figure out how to do it. Choices. You get to choose. So it's true. The way we make changes is through the power of our choices. So if you want, so you can choose to live a more meaningful life or live a life of status quo. You can choose to pursue what it is you desire, or you can choose not to pursue what it is you desire. But the way we make changes is through the power of our choices. Not a more comfortable, not trying to make our circumstances more comfortable, but even if you do that, that's a choice. So we make change always through a choice. So no matter what our situation, we always have a choice. And our choices may not rescue us from our circumstances, but it can save us from the temptation to use our circumstances as an excuse to lose sight of who we are, our character, and our belief. So it is true. The way we make changes is through the power of our choices. So as you think about beginning anew in 2022, did you spend any time, or have you spent any time at all thinking about your choices, thinking about what it is that you desire? Because remember, choice is an act of selecting or making a decision when faced with two or more possibilities. You can go left or you can go right, good or evil. There is a middle road, though. We'll talk about that one day. But right now, you can choose that I want something different. I want to live a more meaningful life. And maybe some of you have already made that decision. Or you can choose to walk into this new year status quo. So choices. So it is true, you have the power of choice. And you can choose to look forward to your future. You can choose to shape your life or allow life to shape you. You can choose to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life in your career and your personal life. You can choose. You have the power of choice. So when you start thinking about making changes, think about it this way. You can choose, even if you just choose one thing. That's how you make changes in your life, by choosing. You have a choice. You can choose to decide what actions you're going to take. This is the one I love. You can choose to see yourself as a person with limitless possibilities, or you can choose to see yourself as a person that lack limit, that a person that has limits. You get to decide. You can choose to embrace life, or you can choose to sit on the sideline, living unfulfilled. You get to choose. You can choose to seek self-interest. You get to choose. You can choose to see each day, each moment as a chance to grow. It's a new day, new opportunities. You get to choose if you want to approach life differently. You get to choose the perspective you have on life. You get to choose to love and care for yourself and for others. It's your choice. You get to choose to see all aspects of your life as valuable. It's a new day. I am still here. You get to choose to validate yourself and not seek validation from others. You get to choose. You get to choose to know and nurture your talents and utilize them. We all of us, each and every one of us, we have talents. You get to choose to nurture them, to use them. You get to choose to build confidence. I think all of us at one point in time in our lives have lacked confidence. And if you did, you probably made the decision to build confidence. So you get to choose. You get to choose to believe in yourself. You get to choose to believe you have value. You get to choose to believe you are valued. You get to choose to believe you are good enough. You get to choose to believe you are talented, smart, and beautiful. Because guess what? If you don't believe it, what make you think others will believe it? So you get to choose. You get to choose to believe if you desire it, you can create it. Desire is the beginning of new creation if you take action. You get to choose. You get to choose to create new goals and plan to and create a plan to achieve those goals. So you see what I'm doing? As you think about making changes, if you just be conscious of the choices that you're making. And if you start to feel overwhelmed, just make one small choice. One small choice. You get to choose to pick friends, partners, and surround yourself with people that are supportive and future focused. Remember that old saying, your associations will determine your destination. And I just had this visual, you know, the crabs in the basket, and one crab is trying to crawl out, and the other crabs are on the back trying to pull it down. So you get to choose to surround yourself with people that are future focused and are supportive. You get to choose to want better results and not be afraid to try new things. You get to choose to seek wisdom, new levels of wisdom for the new year. You get to choose to eliminate the negatives. So as you think about your life, you get to choose to eliminate the negatives. Think about that. That one was powerful. And I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, and I will keep saying it, and it's worth repeating again. We tend to give negative thoughts far more power than we give positive thoughts. Think about that. Think about that. You get to choose what is best for you today. You get to choose to stay encouraged, keep loving and encouraging others, and keep letting your light shine. Because remember, when your light shines, you give others permission for their light to shine. So as you're listening today, think about what is one thing you can do, one decision that you can make today that will help you make changes in your life. What is one thing? Share it with me. You can type it in here in the Facebook group, Instagram, or you can call into Intellectual Radio at 708-223-8953. What is one thing? You get to choose to stay connected to your inner being. Talk about your inner being all the time. Your inner being is powerful, loves you. Your inner being has all the answers. You get to choose to stay connected, but here's the key. You have to listen and be obedient. Because your inner being has all the answers. But you have to listen and be obedient. You get to choose. You get to choose to not be afraid to challenge yourself, to stretch and go beyond your comfort zone. Now, this is going beyond my comfort zone right here, but I'm here. You get to choose to embrace fear, not allow it to defeat you or to imprison you. You get to choose. So every morning, every day, you get to choose what's best for you. If you are living or working a plan to live a happier and more fulfilling life, great. I say it all the time. Help somebody else along the way. But if you want more, a more meaningful and fulfilling life, you get to choose. So think about this, because some of you may be thinking this is so difficult. What I want to do or accomplish is so difficult. And I get discouraged sometimes too, because life can be challenging. It can be very difficult, especially when you're trying to live a purposeful life on purpose, because all the emotions show up. But when you think about, when you look at your life and how far you've come, it makes you realize just how powerful your choices are. Because think about this. You chose how to handle your trials and tribulations, heartache and pain. Think about it, that breakup, that divorce. Remember how you cried and you didn't know how you were going to get up the next day. But if you look at where you are today, it certainly made you stronger, right? Think about that disease you may have been diagnosed with. Taught you how to live and appreciate life. I remember when I was diagnosed with cancer. You have cancer. Those 3 words changed my life. But you are a survivor. Those 4 words taught me how to live my life. So think about that. Choices. That job that let you go, or maybe you left, and at the time you didn't know how you were going to make it. But now look at you, it led you to a better job, didn't it? See? When you think about where you've been and where you are now, the decisions and the choices that you've made, you're much stronger and much more powerful. So if you're at a point where you want more, and if you're struggling and you're feeling discouraged and overwhelmed already, think about how far you've come. Think about the decisions and choices that you've made. And look where you are now. You chose how to deal with the trials and tribulations. You chose how to deal with that breakup. You chose how to deal with that divorce. You chose how to deal with losing that job. You chose how to deal with that diagnosis. And I remember when I broke my ankle, you were with me. And when the doctor said you will not be able to put weight on this ankle for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. See, it's just a memory now. But think about this. I wrote Inspirations for the Soul during that time. I chose how to use that time. It was painful, but I made a conscious decision how to use that time. So as you think about your life right now, as you think about new beginnings and beginning anew in 2022, what are you going to do? I asked this question last week, and I'll ask you again. What do you want for your life? And what are you going to do about it? If you want something different, you have to make it happen. Change is not going to just happen automatically. So if you're at that point where you're in what I call the midlife transition stage, where you're questioning everything about your life. Am I fulfilled? Why am I not fulfilled? Do I want to stay at this job? Do I want to start my own business? Am I happy? What makes me happy? And what are my values? Am I making decisions and choices based on my values? Am I making decisions and choices based on what's important to me? Or am I allowing other people to dictate my life? So if you're at that midlife transition stage and you're questioning yourself, because we all go through it, by the way. We all go through it differently, but we all go through it. So if you're at that point and you're questioning and you're wanting more, what are you going to do about it? Or if you're at that point where you're living a legacy, what does that look like for you? Do you know? Are you truly right now embracing everything that you want, everything that you desire? Beginning anew, new beginnings in 2022. So it's true. You can focus. Yeah. You can choose to live the life you desire. You have the courage. Think about what you've been through. You have the strength because you're always propping other people up. You know, that's what we do. We make sure everybody else achieve what it is they desire. And we're strong for them. So you have the strength to do for you the same as you do for others. And if you have hope and faith, then you have the ability to live the life you desire. So my question to you, what choices will you make today? I chose to get on the highway and drive here this morning versus taking the side road. I chose to expand my platform. So now I am here at Intellectual Radio. I'm also in the You Have the Power Facebook group, and some of you are also joining me on Instagram. This has gone beyond my comfort zone. So as you think about your life, and if you want to share it, you can type it in right here on You Have the Power Facebook group or on Instagram, or you can call into Intellectual Radio at 708-223-8953. Share with us. And just remember, if you're thinking about making changes in your life and you don't know where to start, just make one small decision today. And maybe it's to get up every morning and just be intentional with your thoughts. Maybe it's just trying to be more intentional with your thoughts. Making sure that you're not giving the negative thoughts power. The negative thoughts will defeat you. The negative thoughts are, I can't do it. They won't accept me. I'll probably fail. Think about it. You have the power this morning. So a couple of things really quickly before I let you go. There is a message in Just Leap, and I believe if you have the book, I'm not going to read from it this morning, but I believe it's on page, I want to say, I should have looked this up, but you know I did not. But it's on page 70, the message, The Power of Choice, in Just Leap. If you have it, you can refer to that particular message. One of the questions I got last week, I talked about passion, purpose, and power. There is a message that goes into more detail about how you find your purpose, and that is in Inspirations for the Soul. If you have it, you can go to the message. I will tell you what page is on. Of course, I should have looked this up, but I didn't. So it is on page 62 under the section You Are in Control, Passion, Purpose, and Power. And if you don't have copies of my books, Inspirations for the Soul, Just Leap, and Witness the Most Powerful You, you can order them on Amazon. And if you need to contact me, if you want to know more about our services at One Evolution, you can go to oneevolution.com, and that's just the number one, and it's EVALUTION, Evolution, evolving one day at a time. Or you can reach us at 312-725-8099. Always, I will be here at Intellectual Radio. Please write this number down, because at some point you may decide I want to call in just to communicate with you. 708-223-8953. I'm sorry. I will be here every Sunday in all three platforms. And even if you want to listen to last week, you can go to either of these platforms. The video is there. Intellectual Radio. Also, you can go find me on Intellectual Radio, You Have the Power, and also on their YouTube page. So that is You Have the Power. Let's see what messages or comments or questions we may have this morning. Janice said, this is huge. Maybe she'll try the freeway. Just take the small, you don't even have to take a long one. Just go, just start, you know. Take it and get off after 5 minutes, but you have to start somewhere. MM says she's going to be more intentional about planning in various facets of life. Dr. Emma says she's been through many trials, and she vowed to increase the time I spend in prayer. I was praying all the way this morning on the highway, just so you know. Choice is powerful, Pam. Thanks, Megan. I'm proud of you, too. Yeah, spend some time reflecting on your choices, because they're powerful. And the biggest question you always ask yourself, is this choice aligned with what it is I desire? And if not, is this the choice that I want to make? That's it. Is this choice, whatever choice it is it aligned with what you desire? Is it going to bring you closer to what you desire? Or is it going to take away? And you could break it down to just that simple. Because what I'm trying to do is to make change, even though change can be complicated, but to make the decision to change, to take the fear and the complication, that overwhelming fear out of it. So that if you just make one small decision today, it could have a great impact on your life. But just think about that one small decision. So that's it. You have the power. I am so grateful for you for getting up and joining me every Sunday morning. I truly appreciate you. Whatever you're doing today and the rest of the week, I hope you stay safe. Love and blessings to you and your family. I will be back here next Sunday. Have a great week. Bye.